G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how I solve this Vudoku cube. It's from V-Cubes and it's not as hard as a normal Sudoku, I don't think. I actually think there's more information on this to help. So this is a scrambled version and it just looks foreboding. You go, what on earth? So what I do is just start with any center. I'll start with that one there and I'm going to try and match an edge to the side of it. And sometimes, like you can see, the edges have to be facing the same way, obviously, so that's no go. There's no way that can possibly be it. Even if I was to flip that edge, it would be the same problem there. So this edge here actually, at first glance, looks potential. 591726, that's okay. 387594, they all look good. I reckon that may even be it. Now, I will just see quickly if there's another one that might be a candidate. That one I don't think is. What about over on the other side or anywhere else? It'd have to not have 591 in the middle of it. So first of all, if I take this one down here, that's facing the wrong way. What about if I put it up there? It's still facing the wrong way. So that's that one. What about this one there? No, that faces the wrong way. Do the same over there. Is that possible? Okay, it's facing the right way, but there's two ones, so that definitely can't be it. So that's taking care of those. It's just these four edges on this side. So I guess I'll first try this one. No, that's no go. This first one's really crucial to get right. That's not going to work. 654 over there in the middle, even if it was facing the right way, so that's no go. What about that one? No, 591956, so that's not possible. There's only one more to try. 591791. So I'm pretty confident with the one that we had here, the 591726. That looks good. So the next thing that I'm going to do is get this edge here, because that should be fairly straightforward to get now, because there's only three numbers that middle part can be. We've used up 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. It's got to have a 3, 4, 8 in there somewhere. So I'm looking across all these edges for a 3, 4, 8 running down the middle or running across the middle. It's not on that side. Is it somewhere else? Well, yes, of course. There it is, 8, 4, 3. It should be that one over there. So we'll turn that up into position. And we should find that the other numbers across the top and the bottom also match. So that's great. That looks good, those two edges. Next thing I'm going to do is probably get a third edge to go here, and I'll leave that fourth edge for a minute, but I'll get the third edge and then we'll look at the centers of the adjacent faces. So I've got a 498 here. It's got to face the right way and it can't have 498 in it. That's potentially possible. In fact, this one here, I just always get confused myself whether that one, obviously that's upside down. What about the other face? Let's have a look. The other face of the edge. Yeah, so it is actually still possible. 498213. Now that's okay, but then it doesn't match 653594. That's no good. So that is not the edge. What else have we got that's possible? No, that looked good down the middle, but then the 3 and the 3 don't go. No, that's no good. So they're all out. Something on the back here perhaps. Let's try. In fact, that one there at the back, we'll just make sure that doesn't do the job. It's quite a smooth turning cube. That's obviously not going to work. What about... No, that's upside down. So that's no good. Alright, let's turn it around and try and find the edge that does do the job. Nope. 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 Okay, none of those four. But these edges on the bottom perhaps. Nope. I've got to be a little bit systematic here to make sure that I don't keep checking the same edges. No, that's not it either. So I'm running out of options. There can only really be one edge, so let's have a better look at it. Can't have a 498 running down that middle section, and it's got to face that way. 721 goes there. Oh, that can't be it because of the 5-3. That's matching. 257. That's possible. 918 on the left. That's possible. I reckon that might be it. Let's have a look and see if we can get that one. Oh no, it's got the 5-3. What about, there was the opposite edge. Now I just reckon did I knock that one out? No, that's okay. Let's see if this does the job. 498, 257, 217, 634. I'm pretty confident that that is it. Seems to be the only one that's there. Now that I've got those three edges around the center, I'm going to get them onto the correct centers here and make sure the centers are oriented correctly as well. So first of all, noting that this one is upside down. So just for example, I've left a spare edge back here so I can just rotate these centers. Let's turn that center upside down and see if that matches. 652721, no, that's not with that center. What about this one? 346721, that's good. 281953, 759468. That looks like a winner. So we just need to check whether these other two edges match with the centers there. This center you can see needs to be rotated 180 degrees. So I'll put the edge that I haven't done in there and see if that goes. 496185, 218473, 753296, that looks good. And what was the other one? That's the dodgy one. So this one here, that center needs to be rotated clockwise. And we now should have a match going across there. You can see, yep, those pieces match. Alright, now I need to find the fourth edge here, which goes with that center and that center somehow. So it shouldn't be too hard to find because I know that it can't have 257498. It's got to have 136 running down the center part of it. Let's try and find a 136er. There it is. There's one over there, so I reckon that's probably it. So that one has to go into that position. I've got to put it down the bottom first. And the 136 needed to go on the top. So first of all, let's put it on the top and make sure it fits with that. That looks good. And now that means that this center needs to be rotated anti-clockwise one turn. So I'm going to move it off, rotate anti-clockwise, put it back on, and turn it up. And I now know that all my edges on the top face are done and all the edges here are matched with the correct center pieces on these faces. Alright, well the next thing I'm going to do is try and place the, well, I guess the corners that go on this face. And the corners hopefully are a little bit easier than those edges. Let's have a look. We're looking firstly, with a corner like this, before I discount this corner, I've got to think, well, if that doesn't orient correctly, what about if I rotate the corner? So I think, well, if I rotated it anti-clockwise, that would go around that way, and the 5 would be facing the same way as the 3, which is incorrect or not correct orientation. What about this? The 1 would rotate around there, that would be upside down. So it cannot be that corner. Let's try the ones down the bottom. Can I get these corners down the bottom there? That orients correctly, but the 3 clashes with that 3, so that's no good. What about anything else? 8, 4, 3. No, it can't be that corner at all. What about this one? Again, the 7 and the 7 upside down there you can see are an issue. What about the other way? Just looking to see, I've put that corner in there, I'm comparing it with that edge and I'm saying, well, if I rotated it around, would that work? We know that the 7 on that face can't do, so it's only that one that's going to be a possibility, and that'll rotate around the wrong way. Which way did I turn it? That way. So that corner's no good. Got 2 more to try on the bottom face here. Now that is oriented correctly. 259782, so it can't go in that position. Would it? If it oriented that way, that's no good. That way, that's no good. So that's the third corner. And again, the first corner is normally the hardest of the corners to get. That one orients incorrectly. That one will come up there and be upside down. That one will come up there and be wrong. So that means the corner really is going to be one of these other three corners here. Well, that's actually quite helpful, thinking what it might be. So I've got to find a middle bit that has not 7, 3, 8 on it. So that 1, 2, 5 is possible. It also has to then match not having a 5, 4, 6. Well, 9, 2, 7 there. So that looks like it might actually be a good candidate. So to get it there, what I'm going to do is just turn it down to the bottom and now place it where I think it should be placed. Where did I think it should be placed? Up like this, I reckon. Just do an up, up, down, down to put it in there. Now what that'll do firstly is it'll keep the edges and the centers that we already had correct. Let's just compare and see whether that corner is the correct one. 396415, 125738, 478269, that's good. 314782, I reckon that is the correct corner. Fantastic. And you can confirm it by matching it with the edge across here, 65434, so that, oh no we can't because that's correct, we haven't done that edge yet. It's getting a bit worried there. That's all okay. So that's one corner done. What about this corner here? Again, it's got to orient correctly. 1, 3, 5, can't be that one. Could it be that one? Probably not. Let's turn it around and see what we've got here. I don't reckon it's going to be that one there. That orients the wrong way. So does that. Oh, that's looking promising. That matches perfectly there, I think. Let's just, in fact, turn it up. We might as well put it into its position and see if that is a go. The other one, 5, 3, 4, 9, 2, 6, 6, 8, 7, 1, 5, 3. Yep, I'd say that's our second corner. That's looking good. All right, what about the third one? No, that's not possible. But what about the other orientations of that corner? No and no. So we can discount that one. That doesn't match, obviously. I'm just looking at the other orientation. If I twisted that around, that's not going to orient correctly. Neither is that one, so that's no good. Can't remember which way I turned it up now. Oh, that's looking promising. Yep, it's the same orientation, so let's do an up, up, down, down there and compare. Yeah, great. Looking at the edges around it, that also looks like it's the correct corner and it's oriented correctly here. 438526917, that's looking fantastic. And that'll just leave me this last corner to do. Now for that last corner, I'm actually going to flip it upside down. I'm going to use that corner to try and place all the 4 edges in that middle layer. So for example, it doesn't really matter which one of them I do, but I'm going to do this one last, just because I prefer to do that. I'm going to turn it around to this position here. And because I know that the centers are correctly oriented, based that on the edges there, I know that those centers are good. What I need to do is grab edges from hopefully the top and just kind of turn them down and see firstly if they orient correctly, as that one does there, but also then check that they're not doubling up on numbers. So that one's no good. I can try it from that position, I could try it from that position, but I see if I turn that down, that is not oriented correctly with that one. So that's no good. What about the next one? No. And that'll be a no. What about this one? No. No. No for that one. That orients correctly. What are the numbers like? 1542373698452871169. So that looks good. The reason it doesn't look like it's matched here is because I turned that center. So I now need to try and put it down correctly, doing the full 4 moves, and that should then match. 536219. That looks good. I reckon we're good there. I can turn my dodgy corner around to the next one and do the same thing. Let's see what we've got. Now, of course, if I found that none of those edges matched, it would tell me that the correct edge was somewhere in one of the other middle positions, and that may happen here, who knows. What's that one look like? No, that's no good. What about the other way? Nah. This one? No, that's no good. The double sevens. Wrong orientation. This one, wrong orientation. Wrong orientation. Final one on the top face. 2 sevens. Wrong orientation, which tells me that the correct edge is either this one and it's flipped, or else it's one of these two. So why don't I first just take this one out and just see if that is going to cause me to find the edge, and that might even be it. It certainly seems to match with that centre, so let's put it down there and see if that matches. 789542, 652318, 134796. I'd say that's the go. So we've got that edge. Turning my corner around once again. Got 2 to go. Let's see what we've got. That didn't work. That looks like it might match there, so we will do a down, down, up, up, but it doesn't match with that one, so I'll undo that and try the next one. No, that doesn't match. That does match with orientation to that center, and it looks like it might be the correct piece as well, so we'll try that. And this time the orientation matches over here, 613, 789, 794, 652. I'd say that's the go. Last one, using our dodgy corner. There can only be this one or the 4 on top, so let's see. It's got to be an upside down center here. What about that one? Nope, that's no good. That's no good. The next one, no good. Check it against this center. No good. Third one, no good. No good. Fourth one, no good. Potentially good. Just looking at the numbers, in fact that might well be it. So it can only be this one or the one that's in there. So let's try turning this one down and see how we go. It certainly seems to match okay with that centre. What about this centre? It's the correct orientation, 286375. Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. Okay, so now we'll turn that corner back and we'll just, in fact, we'll turn it back to where all of my centres match up. So this is the top face. All but that last corner should be done. We'll just check the edges match with the centres, which they do, and I should now find that all these corners also match with those edges as well. Everything is looking pretty good, and I can't even find where my 4th corner was. I don't know which one it was. It must be this one because that's not matching there. Everything else is. So that's my 4th corner. So I'm now going to go and place that 4th corner, which will just leave me the top layer to deal with. Now, if I orient that, that will be correctly oriented. If I turn that around, that won't. So it can't be that corner. Let's have a look at what I'm actually looking for. Well, the middle here, that's a 751269. So I'm looking for something that has 3, 4, 8 in the middle. Let's see if I can find a 348 in the middle. There's an 843, so I reckon maybe it's that one. And let us firstly actually place it down into there. I'll just check if there's any more 348s, because if there's not, it has to be that one. No, I can't find any more 348s, so I'm saying it's definitely that one. So put that corner into its position and then turn it down to there with 3 of these things. So now it's actually in. We've got to get it oriented correctly. Is it 843? Yep, that's good. 527689341. That all looks good there. Does it look good here? 437915682 and 964837521. That's fantastic. So those bottom 2 layers are now all complete. Now at this point what I want to do is check whether any of my top layer edges need to be flipped. I could have none needing to be flipped, 2 or 4. So I guess first of all I've got to find out where they belong. So looking at this one up here, that one clearly doesn't go there. Let's see if any of them do. That doesn't. That doesn't. That doesn't. Let's try this center and see if I can match any of them up to that center. No, not that one. Possibly this one, 58934671. Yep, so this one's matched, so there's only going to be 2 at the most that need flipping, and that also tells me that goes there. So let's now look around and see what else we've got. 359 doesn't go there, and that one won't flip around. Which of these 2 belongs in that position? Let's try that one. It doesn't look like that one. Well, I might come back to that. Looks like this one. So that is fine by the looks of it. So if I put that back there, I know that this one is correctly oriented. I also know that this one is correctly oriented and belongs here. And we'll just double check that one. Yeah, that looks good. So it's those 2 that are fine. These 2 I've got to check whether they are correctly oriented, and they also belong over on these 2 centres. So in fact these 2 belong on those 2 centres. So let's see if we can line them up. If I can line either of them up, then they will both be fine. But it looks like I don't think I can do that at all. So these 2 need flipping. So to flip those 2, hold them in these 2 positions, up front and up right, and just do a front, up right, up prime, right prime, front prime. That will ensure that everything, all the edges are now flipped, and I've just got to figure out where to place them. So the first thing is let's put that 589. We know that that belongs in that position there. Before I start doing anything else, I want to get the centre correctly oriented. So if that's pointing upwards, that centre needs to twist 1 turn anti-clockwise. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go and replace this one over here, just with a soon mirror, like that. And now I've got the centre correct, I've got that correct, and the other 3, I know they're oriented correctly, and you can see that according to this. And so then it's just a matter of maybe doing a soon or 2 to get them into the right position if they're not already. So 426853, that looks good. 458697213, I reckon that one's good as well. And this one, it must be good because it's oriented correctly. So my edges are now correctly positioned and oriented. All right, now for the corners. So I'll be thinking, let's firstly take, I don't know, this one for an example. We've got 839654. I'm looking for a corner that has 1, 2, 7 running along its middle somewhere. So that doesn't appear to have it. That one does, 1, 2, 7. So I reckon maybe it's that corner, and it belongs over there. So what I'm going to do first of all is just move it there with a corner piece series. Like that. And I've got it there, and it needs to be rotated clockwise. So because I'd like to have that in position and correctly rotated now, I'm going to do that. Hold it at the back, some other corner at the front that I don't care about at the moment, and I'll just do a soon, and then it's mirror. And any time I do that, it just affects the top layer, and it doesn't. Doing a soon and then its mirror is not going to affect the edges on the top at all. It's just going to affect those 2 corners. So I should find now that that corner is correct, and it looks like it does match up nicely. That's one done. So the other 3 will either be in a 3 cycle, or they'll be in their correct positions. So let's take this one, 984761. What are we looking for? 235. Not that one. Doesn't look like it's that one. There it is, 235. So that's got to go to there, which means that's the 3 cycle direction. Let's carry out a corner piece series. And I should now find, that's the one that I'd already placed, that these corners now, in fact that one has placed and oriented, which is great. So it'll only be these other 2 that may need to be twisted. It looks like they do. So 615, 923, what are we looking for? 478. There it is. That's got to come around like that. That's got to go in a clockwise direction. So this one's got to go in an anti-clockwise direction. So let's do that. And that should mean that firstly, all of the stickers are the same direction, they're oriented the same way, and I should find that in every single row, every single column, all numbers are unique from 1 to 9. And just taking a couple of face value, 5, 7, 1, 6, 2, 8, 3, 4, 9, that looks good. 6, 9, 2, 4, 8, 3, 5, 7, 1, any other place. This was the bottom 2 layers, so they're already done. You can say all of them are upside down. And indeed, this, what do you call it? A Vudoku cube is solved.